Hi, this is Daniel from Guroo Learning. Today I'll demonstrate how a facilitator can review task responses on Academy. You'll see how to provide feedback, grade the task, as well as how to comment on submissions that don't require a formal review process to be considered complete. To give you some context of what we're looking at here, we're currently logged in as Evelyn, who is a facilitator in the Designing Sustainable Travel Experiences program. It is her role to review task responses and decide whether they're satisfactory or unsatisfactory and require resubmission. So we are currently in the actions inbox and she's looking at the tasks to review. Let's review Henry's response. So here you can see that we're reviewing the design a transport itinerary task. If you need some more context about what the task description was for this, you can read that here in this pop-up. This here is Henry's response. And you can now select between the different outcomes to see what is successful and what unsuccessful or not yet successful criteria is. So you can look at these and the responses and weigh up how you think that Henry has gone with this task. On this occasion, I'm going to say that Henry is not yet successful. So I'm going to provide him with some feedback to let him know that he needs to work on this further and that I would like him to resubmit that again. I paste my feedback in here. I make sure that I'm on the not successful response here, because if I say that is unsuccessful, that is a terminal response and he won't have the opportunity to resubmit that again. And then I click submit. I can now see that it is confirmed that it has been sent to Henry, and I can move on to my next response. My next learner is Benjamin Brown, and this is for the same task. You can see his response here, but you can also see that he has made a previous attempt on the 5th of August, which required resubmission. You can compare his first response and the feedback that I gave him with his latest response, and I can decide whether this response is now better and whether it is now successful. You can see that he has 2 out of 3 formally allowed attempts, but this time that's okay because I am going to say that this is okay, and I'm going to provide some feedback. And I'm going to submit. His outcome is now successful. So if I go back to all my tasks to review, there's a couple of other inboxes that I can look at here. If I go to awaiting resubmissions, I can see that I have 2 learners, including Henry, who we just reviewed, who I'm waiting for responses on. If I go to the completed tab, I can see that there are now 2 learners who have completed tasks that I've reviewed. If I would like to edit them, I can go in and I can make edits to those outcomes. There is another way that I can also look at tasks that need reviewing, and that is via the gradebook. If I go into my gradebook, I can see all the learners in the program, and I can see all activities, not just tasks, that require grading of some sort. And you can scroll across here. So if I would like to review Harper Johnson's task, I can click on it here, and that will take me directly to her response. However, some tasks don't require a formal review process. They're completed on submission by the learner, and these might be because they are reflective questions or anything. But sometimes it's nice for a facilitator to go in and acknowledge a learner's response without having to provide formal feedback or grading. So we have this other inbox here called awaiting my comment. In this inbox, I have 2 options for how I want to comment on tasks. I can either do it by task or I can do it by learner. Let's do it by task for this task here, and you can see that there are 4 responses that are awaiting my comment. So when I come in, you can see it's a very similar user interface. I have the task title, I can view my task description, I can see who the learner is, and I can see the response. So I can come in and I can just add my comment here. And submit. And I can just work through each response and add comments as I go. The other area to point out in terms of looking at tasks and adding comments is the task feed. The task feed is available to both facilitators and learners. The only difference that a facilitator has over a learner is that they can see the responses from learners that chose not to share their responses from tasks with the rest of the cohort. But basically, I can click on a task and I can go through and view the current comments and add comments myself. You can see here that this feedback here is private to Ava. So only me as a facilitator can see this response here. And that's all I have on the reviewing process for tasks today. I hope you found that useful. Thank you.